Listen. You smell something?
Skunk Works. A group with a high degree of autonomy and unhampered by bureaucracy. This is Skunk Works.
You can watch the Skunk Works Show live right now at skunkworkshow.com.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Hello and welcome. I'm your host today, Ryan. You're listening to The Skunk Works Show. Sitting in with me today is Alicia and Uncle Skunky. You can watch us every week from 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at skunkworkshow.com. That's right. You can watch us every week at skunkworkshow.com. We have a full tray for you today. Here's Alicia with the rundown.
Hi, I'm Alicia. On today's show, we have the news, a new 420 Song of the Week, Man on the Street. We'll be talking with Rick Thompson, Chief Editor of the Compassion Chronicles and News Director for Planet Green Tree's Internet Radio Show. Also, Justin Jenkins with the West Coast Report.
All right, so we do have a full tray today. Sitting next to me, of course, is the infamous, almost famous Uncle Skunky.
Yes. Infamous, but yet almost famous. You couldn't have said it any better.
How are you?
Good. It's a beautiful day out today in Michigan.
You have a good week?
Oh, wonderful week.
All right. How about you, Alicia? How was your week?
It turned out to be quite a good week. There's been 7 months of absolute grief with a repair shop and my insurance company. And, well, needless to say, long story short, I'm getting my car back by the end of next week, fixed and able to actually drive down the road. So, yay me!
She went in there with her bikini on, and everything was handled quickly. It's like, yes, ma'am, anything you say. Yes.
That's right.
Nice. Well, that's cool. Let's see. Next week, we have some cool things. We're on a remote location next week, so all of our WFNT listeners, the only way you're going to catch us next week is on our... Nope, it's not going to be on WFNT. See, they want us here, but it's not going to be here. Yes, next week, as we said, we will not be airing on WFNT. We will be airing on the skunkworkshow.com, and we will be airing at Ustream. And, Russ Belleville, 420 Radio, will be airing us. So I suggest that everybody go to skunkworkshow.com next week to watch us. We're going to be live at OG Smokes in Waterford. It is going to be not your typical open house or grand opening party. This is going to be big. We've got live music, giveaways, food. We're going to do a little medicating on premises. We've got a friend with a camper motorhome. And so we've got our own digs to medicate and hang out.
A casting call, too, correct?
Yeah, casting call for 420 nurses. So any of the young ladies in Michigan, Metro Detroit, Flint, anywhere in Michigan, if you've ever been interested in becoming a model, we love all shapes, sizes, colors, hair colors. You just can't have male genitalia.
Well, Uncle Skunky's already pulled out his black book and called all his skunk cats, and we'll see. Hopefully I can bring in some more girls. More the merrier.
Nice,
and
absolutely.
See what can happen.
The girl next door is...
and they must be over 18, of course.
Well, yeah, if you're 17 and in 2 weeks you're going to be 18, go ahead and come out because we can make that work. But if you're 16, you can come out and hang out, but you can't be a 420 nurse. And like I said, no males. It's just not what we're looking for. So we'll be right back. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Watch the Skunk Works Show live on skunkworkshow.com.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
At Iron Laboratories, our mission is to apply the highest scientific standards to the testing of medical marijuana and derivative cannabis-based products. Iron Laboratories achieves this through the strict application of and adherence to methodologies that have been developed in research, regulatory, and academic settings. Consumer safety directs everything we do at Iron Laboratories. Our role as providers of product information to patients, caregivers, and producers is critical. The purity of the medicines that you put in your body is critically important, and we value the trust you put in us to evaluate and accurately report on these products. In addition, Iron Laboratories will continue to contribute to the industry knowledge base, setting benchmarks and establishing norms to create safer cannabis products. Give us a call at 248-313-9000 or visit our website at ironlaboratories.com. Again, that's 248-313-9000, ironlaboratories.com.
Folks, here's some food for thought. Every year, over 400,000 people die of illness related to tobacco use. Over 80,000 die from alcohol use. Over 30,000 die from reactions related to prescription medication. And more than 7,000 people die from the use of anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin. Aspirin. Do you know how many die from the use of marijuana? 0. No deaths can be directly linked to the use of cannabis. That makes it one of the safest substances available for medical use. Michigan Organic Solutions, Flint's premier medical marijuana consultants, is now offering compassionate doctor referrals. Get licensed for only $99. You only pay if you qualify. No medical records are required. Located at 3549 South North Highway, Suite 117, just across from the Dord Mall. Call 810-820-8953 or go online to make your appointment at www.miorganicsolutions.com. Consultations are free and your privacy is guaranteed. Log on now to www.miorganicsolutions.com.
The first Bibles, maps, charts, Betsy Ross's flag, the first drafts of the Declaration of Independence, and the Constitution were made from hemp.
Amen! 2 Steps Higher, your old school head shop, has your full selection of smoking needs. Water pipes, hand pipes, concentrate accessories, vaporizers, rolling papers, detox products, women's clothing, t-shirts, disc golf, skateboards, and hookahs, bitch! Check us out online at 2stepshigher.com or give us a call, 655-0032.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. Attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. We are changing from a Code 3 direct pursuit to a Code 347. Completely lost due to incompetence.
All right, we're back. That didn't feel like 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I wanted to get a drink out of my soda. I had more things to talk about when we weren't off air, but time flies when you're having fun. So back to next week real quick. OG Smokes of Waterford is going to have their grand open house. Just a grand old good time is what it's going to be. So it's going to be, the weather looks good. It looks like it does today, which today's rocking. It's 75, sunny, clear blue skies. So, come on out, get some free food, hang out with the show, and meet the 420 nurses. Or if you're a nice young lady, become a 420 nurse. So there's some good things next week. And I'm excited about that. I wished it was almost today because it just sounds like
such a nice day. Yeah, we're going to be an outdoor event.
Yeah,
we want today's weather for sure.
So that's what's going on next week, and we hope you're all there. For our WFNT listeners, you have Grand Valley State football at 4:30, I believe. So who wants to watch Grand Valley State football? Boo! No, I'm just kidding. Football's cool, just not Grand Valley State. I mean, I'm a Michigan fan.
And
so
Skunky only watches sports with a motor on it.
So if you're not the maize and blue, I don't care. I don't. It's a waste of my time, and I'll be honest with you, it's a waste of yours too. So now that that's said, and I've ragged on every other university in the state of Michigan and made them hate us, let's trot over to the news. So now here's Uncle Skunky with the news, brought to you by the Michigan Medical Marijuana Report.
The conservative state of Texas could bring in $160 million per year from legalizing marijuana. Since Texas, the land of big business and economic prosperity, has good news for ganja supporters across the country. The state may stand to gain an estimate of over 6,600 million from legalizing marijuana. That would be a Texas miracle if that happens. And of course, the folks are saying that would be a miracle too. So it's just something that people are trying to figure out and saying that, hey, there's a possibility there.
Texas is ultra conservative. It would be impressive.
Oh, yeah. And then, are people going too far on social media? A Boston area couple are arrested for distributing medical cannabis by utilizing the social media network Facebook. Mark and Holly Harrington of Tewksbury, Massachusetts, are a pair of nonchalant, indiscreet sales couple whom got caught on their gardening business HTM site. Their website even had forms for the new patients to fill out.
Wow. There was a post last month on Facebook. I guess Facebook has their own police. We'll call them Facebook police. And what's happening is people in medical marijuana states and recreational states are posting that, they'll ship you cannabis. Wherever you live, they'll ship it to you. You can buy and sell and trade. And not only cannabis, but I've seen pharmaceutical meds sold and marketed on Facebook. And I guess Facebook has worked out an alliance, an arrangement, whatever you want to call it, with the Drug Enforcement Agency. So now they're monitoring that activity, and they will call the local authorities in whatever state that they think this operation or these operations are taking place. So I want to give a heads up to all my Facebook friends. Your commerce, your business, your illegal activity needs to stop, because they are going to get you. In saying I went to jail for 30 years because I was on Facebook selling meds is not cool. So be aware.
Yes, I agree. Jefferson County, one of the largest counties in Colorado, has a marijuana task force that is recommending a ban for pot sales. This county has resisted the marijuana business for years and probably won't be changing anytime soon. As soon as the current moratorium is set to expire, the task force is issuing a 134-page report arguing on how cannabis sales should be prohibited. But that's just like dry counties for alcohol.
Right.
You have that everywhere. Tennessee is really well known for that.
I'll be honest with you. I believe that people should be able to choose what community they live in. If I move to West Bloomfield and I choose that I don't want people to smoke cigarettes there, and we all in West Bloomfield vote that way, then I should be able to dictate the rules in the city I live in as a majority. So I'm all for that. If you don't want marijuana in your city, then you should have that right. Move to a city that doesn't want it. Me, I'm going to move to the city that does.
If Arizona's Congressional District 4 voters elect, I don't know if it's Michael or Mikhail, I apologize, Weiser, they will have a dabber in the state house.
Let's call him Mikhail because it sounds cooler.
Okay, Mikhail Weiser. But they will have a dabber in the state house. Democrat Weiser would be the first member of the U.S. House of Representatives who publicly admits to dabbing. He is a former plumber and middle school teacher. The super lefty is a current leader of Safer Arizona. Weiser brings a variety of experience to the national debate on confused marijuana laws. So he'll be a great representative for the state and, to bring things to D.C.
Well, here's the thing is we were supposed to be represented by the people. The representation that most of us have, they have no common touch with me. I mean, Gary Peters, he's a Democrat. I'm for Gary Peters, but me and Gary Peters have nothing in common. He's never done a dab. He's never probably smoked even a doobie. So he doesn't represent me. Most of these representatives are wealthy elitists. So to have somebody like that that's actually somebody that I can understand and have commonality with, that should be who represents us in Washington or the state capitol, or, those are the people we should be searching out.
Yep.
Or even Kevin Arbor. We're going to put him up He's going to be our representative here in Michigan. That's what we should do.
Then I always like to tell my last news story, and this is about the world's third richest man decides to start dabbling in cannabis. I don't mean dabbing, but just starting to get into the business. And you know who it is?
Who?
It's actually Warren Buffett.
Really?
Yes. In the last few weeks, I guess, thousands of marijuana dispensaries across the state of California, Colorado, and Washington has been receiving these marketing flyers advertising a partnership opportunity.
Wow.
And so he's basically, his company or his company's company is basically saying that they're promising to double the yield on each harvest.
Man, we could have old dirty grandpa, Warren Buffett, Uncle Skunky. We can get those two on a show. That'd be awesome. That he's an interesting man, you know. He made, you know, he's very, very wealthy, made a lot of money, but he does seem to care about the, you know, underprivileged people in the United States. You know, I mean, he hasn't given half his money away yet or anything, but he always seems to bring up, you know, general issues that,
with his heart. Maybe not his pocketbook, but with his heart.
Right.
Yes,
you know,
he has sympathy.
Anybody that can at least address the issues that the common man are concerned about, that's a start.
Well, I'm Uncle Skunky. That's the news brought to you by the Michigan Medical Marijuana Report.
Well, all right. Look at that. Where are we at? Oh, it's almost 420 song time, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, of course, you guys should be calling in if you want to win a vape pen.
Call in and request, too, on our website.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Song for the week.
I think everybody has a vape pen now, but if you want one, I have one for you right now. Call me at 810-743-8255.
Phones are ringing. All right.
And it'll be yours. All you got to do is tell me last week's song. So enjoy this week's song. It's by the Beastie Boys. I'm not going to give you the title because that would, you know, it wouldn't be a contest that way. So enjoy.
Submit your request for a 420 Song of the Week at skunkworkshow.com.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Folks, here's some food for thought. Every year, over 400,000 people die of illness related to tobacco use. Over 80,000 die from alcohol use. Over 30,000 die from reactions related to prescription medication. And more than 7,000 people die from the use of anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin. Aspirin. Do you know how many die from the use of marijuana? 0. No deaths can be directly linked to the use of cannabis. That makes it one of the safest substances available for medical use. Michigan Organic Solutions, Flint's premier medical marijuana consultants, is now offering compassionate doctor referrals. Get licensed for only $99. You only pay if you qualify. No medical records are required. Located at 3549 South North Highway, Suite 117, just across from the Dord Mall. Call 810-820-8953 or go online to make your appointment at www.miorganicsolutions.com. Consultations are free and your privacy is guaranteed. Log on now to www.miorganicsolutions.com.
Did you know that hemp is a sister plant to marijuana, but it won't get you high?
What the man? 2 steps higher, your old school head shop has your full selection of smoking needs. Water pipes, hand pipes, concentrate accessories, vaporizers, rolling papers, detox products, women's clothing, t-shirts, disc golf, skateboards, and hookahs, bitch. Check us out online at twostepshigher.com or give us a call, 655-0032.
At Iron Laboratories, our mission is to apply the highest scientific standards to the testing of medical marijuana and derivative cannabis-based products. Iron Laboratories achieves this through the strict application of and adherence to methodologies that have been developed in research, regulatory, and academic settings. Consumer safety directs everything we do at Iron Laboratories. Our role as providers of product information to patients, caregivers, and producers is critical. The purity of the medicines that you put in your body is critically important, and we value the trust you put in us to evaluate and accurately report on these products. In addition, Iron Laboratories will continue to contribute to the industry knowledge base, setting benchmarks and establishing norms to create safer cannabis products. Give us a call at 248-313-9000 or visit our website at ironlaboratories.com. Again, that's 248-313-9000, ironlaboratories.com.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Attention all units, attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. Attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. We are changing from a Code 3 direct pursuit to a Code 347. Completely lost due to incompetence.
All right, let's see. We are going to do some Man on the Street. This is actually one or parts of one we've already done. The reason we redid this one is because I'm asking people about House Bill 4271, and it's a relative subject really now because, you know, it hasn't been brought to the floor. It's passed the House. It's passed the Senate committee. Senator Randy Richardville has not brought it to the floor. This week is the last week of session before they go into vote, so we doubt that it's going to come up now.
Skunk Works Show.
Skunk. Animal.
That's right.
Got
Absolutely.
This is Ryan with the Skunk Works Show. I'm downtown in Ann Arbor, and I'm standing with
Denise.
Where are you from, Denise?
Shelby Township, Michigan.
I want to ask you a couple questions about Michigan's medical marijuana law. Have you heard of the law?
Yes.
Do you know anybody that's a card holder or a user of cannabis?
Yes.
People have been able to get cards since 2009. Do you think it's a good idea that people can use medical marijuana if it helps them?
Yes.
There's a bill in Lansing right now sitting in committee. Once it's released from committee, what it's going to basically allow is every community to decide if they want a medical dispensary. If we put a medical dispensary in Shelby Township, would that bother you?
If it's tightly regulated, no.
You see the country's moving in a direction that might make cannabis legal for anyone over 21 in all states. Would you have a problem with that?
Yes.
So you're only for medical?
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank you. This is Ryan with the Skunk Works Radio Show, and I'm standing with
Ron.
Where are you from, Ron?
Ann Arbor.
The reason we're out here today is we're talking to people about Michigan's medical marijuana law. Have you heard anything about this?
Not recently, no.
Right now, there's a bill in committee. Its designated number is 4271. What this bill says is each town in Michigan or community can decide if they want a medical marijuana dispensary. If I would ask you if I brought one to your town, if it would be okay, but as you know, there's already dispensaries in Ann Arbor. Have you seen any problems by having these businesses here?
Not at all.
Do you think medical marijuana is a good thing if it's regulated and, handled properly?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, I'd be in favor of just recreational use like they have in Colorado.
That was going to be my next question. As you know, Colorado, Washington already have recreational use. Oregon has enough signatures to get it on the ballot this November, and it looks like 4 to 5 other states are going to follow that lead. So if they do push for legalization for 21 and over, you have no problem with that?
None at all.
So it should go coast to coast instead of going state by state, maybe?
I think so, yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm standing with
Brian Power.
Where are you from, Brian?
Borough, Michigan.
How long have you lived in Michigan?
Most of my life, actually.
I'm sure you've heard some rumor about Michigan having a medical marijuana law and allows you to have a card if you're a cannabis patient.
Correct.
Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, just what I've read and heard on the news. I'm not a card holder.
Right now, there's a bill in committee. It's called 4271 is its heading number. It looks like it's going to move out of committee and go to the floor. It also has great potential to move from there to be signed into law. What this bill says is any community can decide if they want a medical marijuana dispensary in their community. If there was somebody setting one up in your town, would you be okay with that?
I would be.
You feel that medical marijuana is okay as long as people are using it responsible?
Yes, responsibly, yes.
You see the country is starting to change their attitude towards marijuana as a whole. There's 2 states that have recreational. It looks like there's going to be 4, maybe 5, 6 states that are going to follow that lead in November. What do you think about recreational marijuana for 21 and over?
I think it should be approved and passed by the people of Michigan.
Right now, they're going city by city. As you know, Ann Arbor is decrimmed, Flint is decrimmed, Ypsilanti, Grand Rapids. They're working on about 12 other cities. So you're okay? You think it's a better use of our resources to maybe have our officers looking at real crime instead of cannabis crime?
Correct, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's, with the stuff that's going on in our other smaller communities, it's a lot worse than somebody smoking a joint.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
This is Skunk Works.
Legalize it and be done with it.
Everybody needs to be cautious of these people that are going to be high and delirious.
Oh, I'm so high and delirious.
I'm not. I never smoke. I never medicate before the show, which is a lie because when we were in Seattle, I did. Kevin made me, and not Kevin the board op, but Kevin the producer, and I was ready to kill him because at the last minute we were all stressed out and trying to make sure everything worked, and, I just don't like that. I need to medicate after the show. All right, up next we have a longtime friend. He is the editorial director of the Compassion Chronicles. He's also the news director for the Planet Green Trees radio show. Our friend, our colleague, Rick Thompson. How are you today, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you guys?
We're really good. We've been
Pretty
clowning. We've got Alicia in here, and we've got Uncle Skunky, who you know both of them.
Yes,
so.
hey, Rick. It's been a while.
How are you guys doing? Actually, I'm outside today. I'm at the the Macomb-Oakland Compassion Club's Harvest Fest, and we've relocated that out to Stony Creek Metro Park, and it's just a gorgeous afternoon. So you guys get stuck inside doing radio, and I get to be outside, so I like that.
That's excellent. We wished we were outside. We were talking about that earlier. It's so nice out today. Next week we have an event at the OG Smokes Shop in Waterford, Michigan. I heard you might know last week's 420 song. Is that true?
I think I do know it, actually. I think that's a Snoop song, my buddy Snoop Dogg, and I think that's My Medicine by Snoop Dogg. Am I right?
Should we give it to him? But it's
we-
Snoop Lion. He didn't get the name right.
It's
I'm kidding.
our
I'm not
title
joking,
is
Rick.
Snoop Dogg. He gets it.
Okay.
So there you go.
Congratulations.
Rick's got a new vape pen.
Sorry,
so.
Rick, had to give you some static there.
Excellent.
Oh, that's cool. That's so great.
Excellent. So that was cool. Very cool.
Great.
You know what? I was listening to your guys' broadcast Thursday night, and you covered a subject matter that's really important to me, and it's really important to the whole state of Michigan. It's House Bill 4271, and, I think most people, they have rumor, conjecture, they think they know what's happening. You know what's happening, so I was hoping that maybe you could give us a little insight on 4271, where it stands today, and where you think it's going to end up.
I sure can, and as Ryan mentioned in my intro, I'm the news director of the Planet Green Trees radio show, and on Thursday evening, just 2 days ago, we had as our guest Representative Michael Calton, who is the sponsor of House Bill 4271, known as the Provisioning Centers Act. We also had on our program the Lansing Newsbeat reporter named Jake Neer. He works for Michigan Public Radio and several other news outlets. And between the two of them, we got a pretty good idea of what's happening with the bills and where they're at and why they're there. As most of your listeners know, 4271 and its companion Bill 5104 left the Michigan House in December of 2013. In July, they were passed by the Senate Government Operations Committee. And since then, they've been undergoing debates and changes and subtle amendments offered by different parties in order to make sure that the approval process, once they hit the Senate floor, goes smoothly. And remember that it's important that we have to get these bills passed because 5104 is a correction to that horrible Court of Appeals decision in the Carruthers case, which took away the legal exemption that we enjoyed for our medibles, for our concentrates, and for all of the non-smoked forms of marijuana
that many patients need.
Oh, absolutely. Not just the kids, although we can talk about the 50 or so kids that are registered because they need the non-smoked forms, but there are thousands and thousands of adult patients that absolutely require those because they simply can't use other forms, or other forms are just simply not possible for them to use because of compromised respiratory systems or whatever.
There's like tinctures, topicals, stuff like that.
So I want you to clarify real quick. Right now, as it stands legally, medibles are not legal in any form. Is that correct?
That's correct. Now, that's absolutely, there's a little bit of a distinction here because technically the way that the Carruthers decision came down was that if there was marijuana itself in the mixture, then that was a legal substance. But if it was a derivative of marijuana in the mixture, then it was not. So here's the easy comparison I make. If you're making a pan of brownies, you take the marijuana, you crush it up, you throw it in with the brownie mix, and you bake that stuff, that's legal brownie.
Yes.
Now, if you take that the crushed up marijuana, throw it in the butter, green the butter up, strain the gross bits out, throw them away, and use the butter, then it's an illegal set of brownies, even though you're using exactly the same components and the same amount of butter.
Wow.
So it's what we call a nonsensical law that the Court of Appeals made without full ramification of what their decision was going to hold. So the compromises that are going on for 4271 and 5104, there are give and take on both sides. We get some things, they get some things, and most of it seems to surround stuff like labeling and things like that. Representative Carlton last night said that he did not imagine that the negotiations would be completed in time for a vote by the Senate before the election. And as Ryan mentioned earlier, we have just a few Senate days or legislative days left before they adjourn until after the November general election. And the fact is there's just not close enough agreement on the details of the law for it to seem to get a vote now. That's a concern because when Randy Richardville pushed this out of the Senate, he talked about September when he's been in numerous interviews, not only on radio but on television and in the print media. He's mentioned September, and just recently he's been backing off. So something seems to have altered the timetable that he wanted for that. Now, whether that's concerned by the governor's office, concerned by the Michigan State Police as expressed by the governor's office, who knows? Those are some very tight-level negotiations. And as Representative Carlton compared them the other night, too, it's like watching sausage being made. Not very pretty, but sometimes it tastes good at the end.
Right.
I'm sure it's going to taste so great at the end, but it's going to advance the bills. And the most important thing we can do is not let the bills die unless the bills are atrocious. Because you have to reintroduce these things at the end of the beginning of the new session. 2014 marks the end of a 2-year legislative cycle. So if they don't get voted on before the end of this year, they have to start the process of being reapproved by the House of Representatives and reintroduced by a rep all over again. And it took us 2 years to get these bills to this point now. If we had to start that cycle over for another 2 years, that's 2 more years of criminality for those parents and using those non-smoked forms for their children, and for all of the patients out there who became used to those forms of medication for the 4 years they were legal in the state before this Court of Appeals decision took it away.
Wow, so this has really heavy implications. At this point, if this doesn't get passed before the end of the year, we're really in a black hole, per se.
Well, it is, but here's the other thing, too. Is what Representative Carlton mentioned, and the reason that he was on the radio show is because he made some provocative statements on Michigan Public Radio about state-level controls over the distribution centers in what we'd originally considered the local option bill. Local option meant that local communities would decide what dispensaries looked like, where they could be, what their rules were, and each individual community could adjust to their own comfort level when it came to those things. But it would appear now that they would like a state-level control, which would include oversight by a governmental agency, which is probably an existing agency, not a new one, and inspections done by government agents, by state agents, instead of local agents.
See, I agree with just inspections, period. I think the provision centers, dispensaries should have quality control. Because I do my bud report, I go to a lot of different places, and I like to check it out. And there's significant differences between all of them. And I feel that we should be on a higher level of quality control and make sure that the quality of all the products are kind of set to a state standard. And I do believe in that, so I hope everything does pass correct. At least that's because I believe in safety for all the patients.
Me too, but the question is not whether or not we like inspections, because inspections are good. We know that the people need to have that that level of certification in order to gain the protections that they want from the act itself. So we have to have that. The question is who does them.
Absolutely.
Yes, no, you're right there.
Guys, if it's the local guys, then the local guys will respect what each individual city's ordinance says. If it's the state guys, they don't really care what the local ordinance says. They do other inspections the state way.
Right.
And then right back to the same situation where we are right now, where some cities are okay, but the state has a different idea about what okay means. And that defeats the purpose of having the bill in the first place.
Absolutely.
So, until we see how it shakes out, it's all a big question mark, but there's a significant air of doubt over what it's actually going to be as far as the language goes. Representative Carlton seems to be very confident that this will be an acceptable bill when we see the end of it.
Good.
We've been working with Rep. Carlton since 2011. He sponsored the bill when it was originally introduced in 2012, and then re-sponsored it again, was introduced in 2013. He's built support for it, so he knows more than just about anybody. So I'm hopeful that his complacent attitude and his lack of concern for what it's going to look like at the end is something we can count on. I really do.
Rick, we're headed to break. If you'll stick with us, we'll pick this up in just 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Thank you.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Did you know quality paints and varnishes were made from hemp seed oil until 1937?
How to tell if your girlfriend's a psycho.
I drink paint every day.
2 Steps Higher, your old school head shop, has your full selection of smoking needs. Water pipes, hand pipes, concentrate accessories, vaporizers, rolling papers, detox products, women's clothing, t-shirts, disc golf, skateboards, and hookahs, bitch! Check us out online at 2stepshigher.com or give us a call, 655-0032.
At Iron Laboratories, our mission is to apply the highest scientific standards to the testing of medical marijuana and derivative cannabis-based products. Iron Laboratories achieves this through the strict application of and adherence to methodologies that have been developed in research, regulatory, and academic settings. Consumer safety directs everything we do at Iron Laboratories. Our role as providers of product information to patients, caregivers, and producers is critical. The purity of the medicines that you put in your body is critically important, and we value the trust you put in us to evaluate and accurately report on these products. In addition, Iron Laboratories will continue to contribute to the industry knowledge base, setting benchmarks and establishing norms to create safer cannabis products. Give us a call at 248-313-9000 or visit our website at ironlaboratories.com. Again, that's 248-313-9000, ironlaboratories.com.
Folks, here's some food for thought. Every year, over 400,000 people die of illness related to tobacco use. Over 80,000 die from alcohol use. Over 30,000 die from reactions related to prescription medication. And more than 7,000 people die from the use of anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin. Aspirin. Do you know how many die from the use of marijuana? 0. No deaths can be directly linked to the use of cannabis. That makes it one of the safest substances available for medical use. Michigan Organic Solutions, Flint's premier medical marijuana consultants, is now offering compassionate doctor referrals. Get licensed for only $99. You only pay if you qualify. No medical records are required. Located at 3549 South Dord Highway, Suite 117, just across from the Dord Mall. Call 810-820-8953 or go online to make your appointment at www.miorganicsolutions.com. Consultations are free and your privacy is guaranteed. Log on now to www.miorganicsolutions.com.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Attention all units, attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. Attention all units, this is Sergeant Stadenko. We are changing from a Code 3 direct pursuit to a Code 347. Completely lost due to incompetence.
All right, we're back with our friend Rick Thompson from the Compassion Chronicles and the Planet Green Trees. Rick, we've got about 2 minutes here, and I want to let you finish, your thoughts. So, once again, it's been a long, hard road. You guys have put in a lot of effort. People like Robin Schneider, yourself, Jamie Lowell. There's a lot of players in this that have worked their tails off to make this happen. What do you think is going to happen when it's all said and done? Do you see this coming to the floor before the end of the year?
Well, I sure do, and here's why. People like the governor's office and Senator Richardville don't invest this kind of time in a bill unless they intend to get it done. Now, we may not be happy with when it gets done. We may not be certain about what it's going to look like until it's actually passed. If you remember, in 2012, during the lame duck session, they voted on that package of bills known as the Walsh bills at 4:20 a.m. 4:20 in the morning on the last session, because that's when they got to it. So we can expect that this is going to be one of those non-issues. Jake Neer on the radio show said that the most interesting bill that the Senate has considered during this session in September has been banning drones from being used by hunters during deer season.
I had to laugh.
They are not putting anything controversial on the plate right now, but that doesn't mean they don't want to do it. It just means they want to put that off until afterwards. So we're not happy, but we're not being treated any differently than others. Things like the Elliott Larson Civil Rights Act is also being pushed off for a vote till after then, too. So Lansing politics ensues, and this is what happens when you have one party in charge of both the governorship, the attorney general, and the legislature. So that's why we want to break that stuff up.
Nice.
Oh, good.
Well, I got to say, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for enlightening us and the listeners.
Thanks,
because
Rick.
it was very important. I think you covered it well. Hopefully, we'll see you next weekend at OG Smokes, and you can pick up that new vape pen.
Waterford's not that far. It's a good time. I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah, we're gonna have the 420 nurses out, live music. We're gonna have a camper on site so we can medicate, and free food, and it's gonna be a good time. We'd love to have you out there with us.
I'd love to see you, Rick.
You know how I like nurses. So
There you go.
Yeah, who doesn't?
We'll have Uncle Skunky kick you in the leg. You can limp around. They'll take good care of you.
So we'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for having me on.
Have a great day at the MOCC event today, and be safe.
See you, Rick.
All right, that was an excellent interview. We appreciate Rick Thompson's time. Little tongue-tied there. I was excited.
So before we do Uncle Skunky's Bud Report, we got one more call.
Yeah, we have Justin Jenkins from Oregon, not
West
Washington,
Coast.
not California, but Oregon.
Oregon.
Yeah, not Oregon. Don't say Oregon.
Don't say Oregon.
The men have beards, and so do some of the women.
Woo!
Yes.
There you go.
No mustaches. When I was there, I didn't see women with beards, just mustaches.
Well, there you go. I think that.
You never made it to the southern part.
No, I didn't. I heard about the southern part. Yes.
How are you today, my friend?
Oh, doing excellent. Just staying highly medicated this fine sunny Saturday morning.
Yeah, you guys are in a nice stretch of weather out there on the West Coast right now. You got your Indian summer going, eh?
Kinda. You just wait 5 minutes and it'll change.
There you go.
That's the slogan around here. Don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes.
Nice. Well, that's the joy of being next to a big body of water. I think yours is called the Pacific Ocean. So it's powerful and it's big and it definitely makes changes. Last time we talked about some money corruption. Where is that now? I've seen Russ Belville on his 420 show. He's fundraising to talk about, some of the legislation in the corruption with the money and how they've tried to fight, what is it, Proposal 90? Is that the right
91?
number? 91.
91, yeah.
Where are we sitting with that today? What's happened in 2 weeks?
Well, actually, it's kind of a new poll just came out. Basically, it's a little closer than previous ones, so it's a little. I'm a little leery on it. It actually kind of made me pause for a second. We're currently at 44% for, 40 against, and 6% undecided. 16%. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it's kind of a weird poll. Usually we don't have that kind of dichotomy, crazy separation and split on those things. Usually we're both bouncing around 50. Not a lot of undecided. So to have that undecided
split, and it's new.
Now, do you think that's just because people don't want to lay their cards on the table?
When you talk about things that are on the illegal side or on the immoral side or what people might consider, I think some polls become flawed because some people just, even when said that your name will never get out or anything, they sometimes use an opinion that they don't necessarily believe.
I would agree with that. We do a bit called Man on the Street, and when I talk to people, what they tell me isn't what you see in their eyes.
Yeah. Exactly.
So, yeah, I would say, those numbers, you're basically 44, 40, 16 aren't telling you anything. It's still, I'm a believer. I think it's going to definitely fall your way. You're locked between California and Washington. Washington's having a little bit more of a bumpy ride than what Colorado seems to be having, but they're getting it together. And it just seems that, it's going to fall into place. I really see that.
I hope so. I seriously doubt Kevin Sabbath's little circus parade that he's spreading across the state is going to do anything. But educate the already frothing, foaming mouths that believe what he's preaching anyways.
Right. Now, you had said you guys are your mail-in ballots. Everybody gets their ballot. Do you have your ballot already? When do you guys get possession of your ballots?
Our ballot should be out soon. I'll be honest, that's one of those numbers I should know off the top of my head, but I don't remember the exact date.
You know what I like that? Because we have to go to booths and all that, and you have to be rushed. You have to stand in line. The fact is you could sit down, not be rushed, and actually investigate and research which politicians you want. Sometimes I just kind of guess because I don't know much about them. But it's true. I would love to sit there and have the time and do my research, and I try to do my research beforehand.
It comes with a big packet, too. It comes with a large packet that gives a little breakdown of every person that you can vote for inside of it. And the funny thing is that when we first moved here, I thought that was one of the most amazing things I've ever witnessed, because I'm from Minnesota, and we do the same thing. It's cold, in Minnesota in November.
Right.
You're outside, usually in a line, because, you've got to let the older people ahead of you. It's just polite. So, I came here and had to vote, and, you never see Oregon in the news saying, possible election fraud. You never see that. It just doesn't happen.
I don't think it really happens anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, that's a different subject altogether. We could talk about that another day.
Right. That'd take a whole hour.
That's a whole nother show.
Yeah, and so I think what it does is it gives a better educated aspect to the voting, because the pamphlet, the way it's written, even when they had N74, they had a for and against. And the people who wrote the for, basically, it comes down to how well they write to get that measure passed.
Nice.
And then they have the against part. So it's well balanced. It's not like a hit sheet or something like why you shouldn't vote against anything.
Nice. We appreciate your time. We're kind of pressed for time today. We've got to get to our Bud Report. We're going to talk to you in 2 weeks. We'll be very close to the election then. We appreciate your time. Say hi to Jamie. We always remember and respect Jamie. So thank you for your time and her time. You guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely, guys. You have a great one.
Thanks, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.
I love talking to him, giving all that West Coast update.
Absolutely. Jenkins is probably one of the coolest people I've ever met. He gives his time freely to us, and we really appreciate him for doing that. But right now, because we are running out of time, we've got to get to Uncle Skunky's Bud Report.
Hi, I'm Uncle Skunky on the Bud Report for September 27th on the Skunk Work Show. Yes, I was on West Side Detroit. I went to a new place called Aromatic Herbal Care. They're going to be having a nice little blues party tomorrow. But this guy let me try a lot of different stuff, and I was really impressed. And one of the ones I've been searching for forever, never tried ever, and I always wanted to, was Durban Poison. It's a sativa, and it's actually from South Africa. I've seen YouTube videos where people go on excursions across country to find this, but it's a really most distinctive sativa out there. Everybody loves it. It's great for depression, pain. That's about it. Then another side on the east side of Detroit, we got some Lemon OG Kush hybrid. It's got, the Lemon Skunk, which is an indica. Then you got a nice OG 18. It's great. It's got a high psychoactive THC levels, and it's great for stress relief and increasing the appetite. The bad thing about it is high anxiety. And then out of Detroit and Ypsilanti is popular in both is the Grape OG or the Grape Kush. That's actually got a great berry cheese flavor, great for insomnia, depression, hypertension. Like I said, it's very tasty. Try it. And then this new one that I guess this came out recently is the U2 Kush, which is actually a Master Kush and Bubba Kush together. Great sedative effects, and it's great for insomnia, pain, and that's about it.
Nice. Yeah. That was the U2 sounds good. The Durban's funny. I actually had a pack of Durban seeds like 4 years ago, and I still have them. The reason I never sprouted them is because that particular one that I have, it really recommended for outdoor grow only. There's a lot of plants that are for indoor only, some are for outdoor only, and some of them you can use them in either or. But just the straight Durban was outdoor only. Nice. And I haven't sprouted them yet, but one of these days we'll get them in the ground. Real quick recap: next week, OG Smokes live. Anybody can show up. You don't need a card. You just need to show up. It's going to be in Waterford. It's at Cass Lake Road, in Cass Elizabeth Lake Road. You can find that on the web or with your smartphone device, whatever. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. We will be there with the 420 nurses. We'll be broadcasting live food or good food. So make sure you're there. We'll be right back. 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
Folks, here's some food for thought. Every year, over 400,000 people die of illness related to tobacco use. Over 80,000 die from alcohol use. Over 30,000 die from reactions related to prescription medication. And more than 7,000 people die from the use of anti-inflammatory drugs such as aspirin. Aspirin. Do you know how many die from the use of marijuana? 0. No deaths can be directly linked to the use of cannabis. That makes it one of the safest substances available for medical use. Michigan Organic Solutions, Flint's premier medical marijuana consultants, is now offering compassionate doctor referrals. Get licensed for only $99. You only pay if you qualify. No medical records are required. Located at 3549 South Dord Highway, Suite 117, just across from the Dord Mall. Call 810-820-8953 or go online to make your appointment at www.miorganicsolutions.com. Consultations are free and your privacy is guaranteed. Log on now to www.miorganicsolutions.com.
The real estate market is moving full speed ahead, so don't be left behind. Remember Kim.
Hi, I'm Kim Nowak with Century 21 Town and Country, and I'm here to help you whether you're buying your first home or thinking of selling and moving on up. Let me guide you in the right direction. Call me at 248-835-2992. Again, it's 248-835-2992, and my focus will be on your needs. Remember Kim.
At Iron Laboratories, our mission is to apply the highest scientific standards to the testing of medical marijuana and derivative cannabis-based products. Iron Laboratories achieves this through the strict application of and adherence to methodologies that have been developed in research, regulatory, and academic settings. Consumer safety directs everything we do at Iron Laboratories. Our role as providers of product information to patients, caregivers, and producers is critical. The purity of the medicines that you put in your body is critically important, and we value the trust you put in us to evaluate and accurately report on these products. In addition, Iron Laboratories will continue to contribute to the industry knowledge base, setting benchmarks and establishing norms to create safer cannabis products. Give us a call at 248-313-9000 or visit our website at ironlaboratories.com. Again, that's 248-313-9000, ironlaboratories.com.
The Skunk Works Show, powered by Iron Laboratories.
All right, you set in with another fine episode of the Skunk Works Show, and we appreciate it, and I hope you do too. We do this show for you, the listener, the cannabis user. It's your show, so if you ever want to talk to us, call in at 810-743-8255. I want to say thank you to Two Steps Higher in Flint, Florida Bob in Flint, Muskegon County Compassion Club in Muskegon, of course, and this has been a NOAC Media production. Thank you, and have a great day.